So when I created this channel, I always had the thought that I wanted it to be free, meaning I never wanted to pigeonhole myself into a niche or specific type of channel that only talks about what this stock is doing and where the Fed is going and what Jerome Powell is doing next. I think those sorts of things certainly have their place, but I don't want to talk about that shit every day, to be frank. And I think that would be counterproductive to what my goal is for this channel. So this is more so going to be a rant than it is about investing in the market, because I want this channel to be a representation of who I am. And so that means that from time to time, y'all gonna have to hear me rant about some shit. And I hope that's okay. I hope y'all just continue to rock with me. And hey, if it's not, that's cool too. That's why I have a day job, so I don't have to depend on YouTube to feed my family. But anyway, I was never the type of person that cared about wearing flashy clothes or jewelry. I was too much of what was considered, I guess, a nerd to care about those types of things. You know, comics, video games, and really anything dealing with technology was sort of my thing. Any one of those categories, and I'm all in. Now, that's not to say that I don't like to wear something nice every once in a while, but I'm definitely in my comfort zone with a hoodie and some sweats on. But I've seen people pay a lot of money for stupid shit.
Oh, you can't tell people how to spend their money.
No, but I can try. And it certainly won't stop me from telling the entire world that paying a bunch of money for shit that looks like this is nauseating. And what's worse is that regular, everyday, normal people who don't have the money to buy homeless looking rags like this that are overpriced and extremely expensive aspire to wear brands like this because they believe it gives them some type of status symbol in this world and day of age where everybody is living out their lives online through social media. It's all about the portrayal of something. You know, people flock to YouTubers like Graham, Stefan, Andre Chick, and Jeremy Financial Education because the perception is that they're all competent investors who became rich by investing in the market, right? That's the perception. Everything we do these days seems like it has to be broadcast to hundreds of thousands to millions of people for it to matter.
Hey guys, I went to a concert yesterday and I had so much fun. Don't you want to watch me have all this fun? Don't you want to see how much fun I had?
Now, I fully understand how this can be considered irony, seeing as how I'm on the YouTube platform where it's filled with literally nothing but people living out their lives on camera. But seeing people live and die for perception, or in other words, for brands like Nike Air Jordan, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton, it's an entirely different thing altogether to me. And that's where we are in America. And don't get me wrong, I love a lot of things about this country and I don't take my life or liberties for granted. But a lot of the shit you see when you open up some of these social platforms is just like, how did we get here? Now, someone might be asking, what does this have to do with finance? And well, I'd say a lot, actually. There was an article written and published back in July of this year that discussed how much the average American spends on clothes every year. And it's reported that each American household averages almost $1,500 on clothing every year. Of course, that depends on your family size. Women actually spend 40% more than men do on clothing. I don't really think that's a shock to anyone. But the general consensus on buying clothes today for a lot of people is more about purchasing things for the look and public perception rather than comfortability and affordability. And I'm saying all this to let someone know that if you're out there doing this, you're not building wealth by collecting brand names to sit in your closet. You're perpetuating the problem. Now, that's not me telling you what to buy or what not to buy. I'm not telling you not to buy Nike or Adidas or anything. Buy what you want. Now, this is especially true in the black community. I know a lot of this sort of ideal has to do with culture, right? I grew up attending predominantly black public schools, so I know what it's like to walk into the school with a pair of Payless shoes on versus a pair of Air Jordans. And it's our fault because we created a culture designed to focus on stupid shit that has no generational value. You know what has generational value? Money. And so when I see brands like Balenciaga plastered all over the world of fashion as something to be idolized and set on a pedestal, I gotta sit back and I think to myself, who the fuck made these brands the standard? And the answer is simple. We did, with our mentality and perception backed by our dollar. And it's a thought process that we need to change in order to focus on the things that will grow our finances and secure wealth. And lately, that has been made even more evident to me with the release of the really weird shit going on with Balenciaga. I'm sure by now we've all heard about and seen the pictures that were released in a Balenciaga promo campaign that appeared to feature children dressed in this weird fucking attire and surrounded by even more weird props and items. And so I'm not going to do a deep dive per se necessarily, but I guess my problem is the same problem that I have with a lot of what's going on with these brands and companies right now. Everybody is trying to be the front runner for weird and provocative shit. It's not about fashion or art. It's about how much bullshit can we get away with? How much can we push the envelope and an agenda onto young, impressionable minds before somebody says, all right, enough. So they released all these weird looking ad campaign photos and people jumped on their ass immediately like, hey, what is this weirdo shit you all got going on over there? Many people cited how some of the outfits appeared to resemble BDSM. The kids in the ad all look petrified. They look absolutely confused about what the hell is going on, and you can't blame them because what is this? And then to top it all off, there's a court document laid out on the table right in the ad about virtual child porn. That is very obviously strategically placed to be seen. And the whole entire thing is just, it's disgusting. And so Balenciaga immediately goes into damage control mode and tries to say that,
well, the images weren't really given the okay to publish.
And it's like, stop the bullshit already. I've been a part of corporate world management. I know how shit works. You don't just get the okay to put pictures out. That's got to go through somebody. And this is a company that has been around for over a century, over 100 years, which means they're very well versed in the logistics of running an ad campaign. And then you have the defenders. Per usual, these are people that are financially motivated to step into the line of fire. And these are also the people that our children and even grown people idolize and aspire to be like. Because the perception that they've sold us is that names and brands matter more than education, knowledge, and work ethic. This rabbit hole goes much, much deeper. I was looking this shit up. There were articles everywhere about the people who put this whole ad campaign together, the conspiracies behind it. But this video is already, I think, long enough of a rant, and I'm sure you all have heard enough from me, so I'll end with this. The harsh reality is that most of us will not be rich. But that doesn't mean you can't be better. Do not try to keep up with the trends. Live the life your salary can afford and max out those tax advantage accounts like your 401ks, your Roths, your 529 plans, and consistently invest into index funds, and you'll be better off than most, okay? That's the simple way to invest. That's the simple way to become wealthy. But listen, those are my thoughts. You all are certainly welcome to leave yours in the comments. Remember to invest diligently, but more importantly, invest responsibly. And do not chase the perception of wealth, but rather the knowledge of it. Later.
Run that by me one more time before we slide. Life is long, death is short. No suicides. Free your mind, pray to God. Between you and I. Buckle down for the ride. Run that by me one more time before we slide. Life is long, death is short. No suicides. Free your mind, pray to God. Between you and I do what I want. My philosophy is simple. Gotta get it for myself. Make sure I protect my temple.